Oh, yeah. True news and reviews. Once
We
again,
back.
Bob, we here where
Yeah,
we discuss wealth, health, and deeper understanding of self.
definitely. Always. You know how we do.
We said we was gonna open like that, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I like that. We like that, man.
Yeah, we'll get the hang of it. Like I was saying the other day, we need to get like 100 of these under our belt before I really start to go hard. I
For
don't
real.
really want to go too hard, you know what I'm saying, while our stuff is unrefined. Like I feel like after 50 or 100, we'll be where we
On
need to
point.
be. Yeah,
For real.
yeah. But without further ado, we definitely have to discuss Monique.
Gotcha.
It seems like the public is torn, like whether Monique is the victim or whether Monique is a monster. You know what I'm saying? I got to be honest. I'm leaning towards the Monique is a monster side of things. And even thinking about the last time we did an episode, I felt like we was a little bit too easy on Monique.
Too easy on Mo. Yeah,
A little
man.
bit, bro.
She been causing a lot of pressure, man. A lot in the industry, man. Somebody got to stand up to this, man. You
Yeah.
know.
You don't think this is a case of sexism? You think that maybe she's just getting bullied because she's a woman and she's black?
No, I think she's using these narratives to like make it a big case. Like, oh, I'm a black woman, and you take come on, like it don't got nothing to do with that. It's like,
Yeah, you fight. What I don't like about that is people trying to use the black struggle, like they'll try to sell black salvation, use it as a rollout, when really this is about you. You're trying
right.
to do something to help you. It's not really about black people, but you want our support because you're trying to win in the the court of public opinion, whatever
Right. And
that's
what
called.
have you done for the people? Talking about this how I go so hard for my people. What have Monique done for the people?
Yeah, I guess it's about inspiration.
What have
Little
you
black
did?
girls could see that, if Monique's fighting and acting crazy, I could do it too. I get whatever
That's what I'm
her
saying.
thing
What
is.
are you going hard seeing? I don't see you doing nothing going hard for the people to be talking like this.
Well, I'll take a moment and try to be generous about her position, because when we're arguing a point or
Yeah.
we're attacking somebody's position, we should try to be generous and try to at least hear out what they're trying to say, even if they're not saying it the best way. So I can say that there are women who are getting mistreated in the industry, I'm sure, in any industry, just like there's black people getting mistreated in any industry. And I think that there is some value in standing up for yourself and maybe speaking out about things that people wouldn't be as brave to speak out against. I just don't think that this is that situation. I don't think that it's the way that she's characterizing it. There's there's better hills to die on than this thing that she got going on with DL, because you know what I noticed? If anybody is watching this and they want to chime in and cape for Monique, because there's a lot of caping for Monique going on,
It is.
I
I seen a
welcome
little
that.
bit of it.
But I noticed that after DL showed the receipts for her receipts and refuted her claims about her being the headliner on that show, it seems
Right.
like the narrative has shifted from that. She don't want to talk about the contract anymore. Now it's about other stuff that's between them, like personal issues she had with DL. And DL's daughter responded to Monique, and I want to get into that. Matter of fact,
We got a
before
clip.
we get too deep into it, I don't have a clip, but I do have her response that she wrote via social. It's a good article that I see that Vice has. I'm gonna get into it. Mm, mm. All right, let me see. I'm gonna share with you because she was speaking to this lady.
Got it.
I almost called her something else. We're not gonna do that. Monique is still a black queen, but we got to call it how we see it. But let's put the opinions aside. Let's read what DL's daughter, not the one who was allegedly, let's say, tampered with, touched,
Right.
whatever it might have been. We don't know what happened, but this is not the one that Monique brought up in the earlier incident. I'm gonna start. I'm Ryan Nicole Shepard, D.L. Hughley and LaDonna Hughley's eldest daughter. You've now publicly disrespected my mother, who I love and care for very much, and my baby sister, who I love and care for very much, to get back at my father, who I love and respect and care for very much. At this point, I feel like you're asking my family and myself to act out of character. Out of all things you could have legitimately said about my dad, if that's the route you wanted to take, you chose to deliberately be mean and hurtful to two black women who have nothing to do with this conversation. Using my mama and my sister to show people my father's character only shows how little mental stability, dignity, morality, and respect you have not only for yourself, but other black women. You're clearly two crayons short of a full box, sis. You're disgusting, and you absolutely need to keep every single member of my family's name out of your mouth. Not because you could do us harm, you can't. Because you're adding to the historical and systemic disrespect and trauma of other black women who you claim to love. And for what? A check? You're bringing up trauma for a concert lineup discrepancy? All you've done is proven that you have no moral compass. Nothing is too far in your quest to prove a point, and I'm blessed that my parents have raised children who have no idea how you could possibly go there. We Hughleys are going to have a good ass day and a blessed life. We are healed. We are whole, and we love each other fiercely and deeply. You can continue to live in that scorched earth kingdom of yours. Get some help, man, for real. Oh, and if you want to have this conversation in person, I'll happily give you the address. Mm. What you got to say about that? So
She hit everything on, like, what she just said. It just lets it known that you talking about black women. You talking about this, but you bringing black women down. You talking bad about them. So it's like you just disrespected yourself in front of everybody. You know what I mean? It's crazy that you even came out like this and talking about the culture and talk about you go hard for your people. Doing something like this? Nah.
yeah. Apparently, Monique is not ducking the pull up. She responded, "Hey, young sister, thank you for your invitation for a discussion. We would like to take you up on it because it could be very healing for our community. Have D.L. Hughley set up a time for you and your family and my husband and I to come on his show, and we will go from there. I love us for real."
Nah, look, no. Check this out. No, man. No, bitch. Listen, bitch. No. All that come on the show, you trying to get exposure. Nah, you done crossed the line. Let's talk where we ain't got no audience.
Yeah,
Let's talk to where it ain't publicly, because you saying something that's disrespectful publicly. So we ain't trying to reiterate and go on what you said. We really want to be face to face to understand, so you know where we stand at. And if it got to get a little, we don't want everybody to know about all of that. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Don't try to put me on public view. This ain't no public situation. Now
Right,
I'm speaking for the Hugleys. You know what I mean?
right,
We ain't trying to endorse you. We ain't trying to promote nothing you got going on with you and your
right.
husband. We ain't on all that. You crossed the line. We need to talk face to face, man to man, on some cameras off.
Can
That's
you
just my opinion.
honestly? The daughter was being really classy with it. She did throw a little shots in there, but I think that she was, it was reasonable for her to get a little bit testy with her the way that she got, the way that Monique came at her dad. But the way I felt was you know how black people say that they want to talk and they really don't want to talk. I'm not trying to stereotype her, but the way that I read it, the way I received it was like, yeah, I want you to pull up because I might want to invite you to the fade, which I don't necessarily condone. Like, I wouldn't condone her just duffing Monique out, but I think if she invited her to a fade and they both was two consenting adults, I think that that would be justified. I don't know if that was the tone, but that's how I took it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't
How
really
I
want to
took it
have a
from
conversation.
how D.L. Hughley's daughter sent, like, we can have this discussion in face to face, not trying to be on no TV show and
Yeah,
trying to make it a, a whole nother
right,
diva show.
right.
We ain't on that.
Right. And honestly, I like Monique's response. If I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying? I think that it's up to the Hughleys if they even want to grant her that to put her
No,
on the show. Cause it's like, no, you're not gonna get no promotion. We can have a conversation,
right.
but the way that you came at us, as far as doing business with you, and that counts, I don't want to do that no more. Remember, Monique was tripping about being on Hughley's show when he wasn't even there, and she didn't like the question that the host asked her. So now this another incident that DL had with her. DL's probably at a point where he's like, nah, it's done. Like, we're not doing no shows together no more. We tried that a couple times. We're not doing that. So I don't know if they're gonna be open to that, but I'm
I
curious to
feel
see
like
where it
it was
goes.
good. It was smart for Monique to be able to say, yeah, man, put me on the show, me and my husband.
It
Of
was smart.
course. It's a business for her. She's getting more exposure for what she's doing, but for check, like the daughter said, like D.L.'s daughter said, what all this for a check? It makes it seem like this is what you're about. You about this attention, headline news. Let's have a discussion, and then you're gonna be on there like, yeah, that's what it just seems like to me. But I wouldn't be on no show with her.
Yeah, that's how you would take it.
Yeah, we
Um,
ain't doing no show.
yeah.
You've been too disrespectful to women. You need an apology. You need to be apologizing to these women publicly for what you put them through that they had nothing to do with. You
Let me
had a
ask you.
problem with DL.
Go ahead, go ahead, get on,
You
get
just
on,
talk
man.
about how DL just sized you, and now you gonna degrade other women right now.
Right,
That's
right. Well, let me say this. I want to ask you this, but I want to know how you feel about it.
yeah.
If you were DL and say that you invited their family to come over and talk to your family, right? Maybe at a mutual place. If you were DL, do you feel like you might have to have a discussion with Monique's husband too? Because I don't know if you've seen the video of them responding. It seemed like he was saying a little bit too much too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's your
No.
wife, but it's like you kind of like co-sided everything she's saying. So how would you did you even see the video of Monique
I didn't
respond?
see what Monique's husband was saying anything, but
Oh, we might could respond to that in real time because I actually got somebody on my Facebook that be doing some hardcore campaigning for Monique, bro. Like,
no.
bro, it's like,
Big girl power.
yeah, the girl who caping for Monique, she not big. You said big girl power, man. Hey, get on out of here, Bob. You ain't gotta say big girl power, man. I think she's supporting Monique because she feel it's like I think she bought into Monique's narrative about this is an attack on black women as a whole. That's what I think. But
But
man, I
Monique
should have had
can't
that
go
one
ahead.
ready. I thought you would have been up on that, Bob.
Nah, I ain't up on that one now.
Man, I
Like,
want to
yeah,
say
he might got a fade to,
the
what
husband,
he
right?
shouldn't even be.
You
But
know,
seeing how toxic she is, he probably gotta, it's kind of like the Will and Jada thing. You know what I mean? It's like,
it is a
like,
little bit like that. I see some similarities. And my whole thing is not my whole thing is I just wanted to say something before I forgot. Um, we have to consider that though DL is being really classy in this situation, he hasn't said anything about violence. We can't forget that D.L.Hughley is a former blood.
oh,
You didn't know that, right?
he from Cali, huh?
Yeah, he from Cali. You know, even the son on the D.L. Hughley show got into some stuff, man. You ain't catch the Vlad interview where he
You gotta pull
he
something
was
up
talking
for me.
about D.L. Hughley was talking about his son getting caught up in a murder.
No.
Yeah, man.
Y'all better start playing with them Hugleys, man.
Yeah, man. And then it's like I got the response of Monique and her husband, but the ones that I'm looking at right now are so long, man. I should have had this queued up. But he's
It's
sitting there
all
with her.
good.
I might just play a little bit because at
Yeah,
least you can
just
see
play a
how
little bit.
he was on the live. It's like, cuz if you gonna be on the live with her,
Yeah,
you could
you
get
can't control her like
you could get whatever she got coming to her. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to take the fade for her, cuz you could do that. He might feel like that.
deal. Who usually be like, I ain't running no phase about this angry woman, man.
Hold on. Oh my bad. I didn't mean to tell you. Hold on. I'm watching the dang stream. I'm gonna share it a little bit just so you can see his energy, man. This ain't gonna be a good representation because I ain't got it queued up, but I just want you to see the posture, right?
Okay.
Of dude, because they got a. It seems like they have a very loving relationship, but some people have said that it's like a little bit of a weird energy to like you know what they got going on. I ain't gonna say nothing about her family. I'm gonna take the high road. She around there saying that how could DL's wife suck the of a coward and all this kind of crazy stuff. I'm not even gonna really go at their relationship, right? I'm gonna be classier than how Monique has been in this situation, but the husband has been getting himself involved in the dispute.
And you can see who he with. Like you could tell he gotta be a little
Yeah,
something gotta not all be all the way right with him. For him not checking her on up. But hey,
yeah.
if he's co-signing this, like,
Look, share it. I got the video.
oh yeah, you got it up.
The contract situation and the headliner
Look at
situation, that was just the icing on the cake for D.L. Hughley and I.
Let's take them back, though.
Take them back.
Let's take them back to the beginning so everybody can get an understanding of where the love fest, if you will, ended.
Let me turn it up, Daddy. They saying turn it up.
All right.
Okay. So let me just take y'all back to where when you think you're cool with somebody, you find out that you're not. Some time ago when D.L. Hughley, he still has his radio show, and they called me to do an interview. I go on to do the interview, and I'm getting interviewed by the sister Jasmine, and I can't remember the other gentlemen that were in the room. It was one of his producers, and it was another gentleman on the radio. And please forgive me, I can't remember their names. So we're having a great time doing this interview. Well, when we get to the end of the interview, the sister Jasmine says, "Hey, Monique, would you like to play a game?" And I said, "Okay, sis, let's play the game." Well, when she said the game is called Would You Rather? So I said, "Okay, I'm down for it." And then the sister says to me, "Would you rather your husband sleeps with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?"
Breathe that in for a second. Brother. Her older brother.
Oh my bad. I'm gonna stop it there. You see how what she's offended by?
right, and that should have took place right then and there. You should have handled that right then and there. You
Well, she
don't take nothing and put it on DL Hughley, and he wasn't even there.
listen. He wasn't there, and they never showed the episode. They had a problem with it, and DL pulled the episode. But she brings that up to say like that's why they have beef. But I'm like, if the beef was so strong, then why you agreed to do the show with him? And why are you bringing it up now when you said it was a discrepancy with the headliner? and you're not even bringing up the contract no more because D.L.hughley's receipts were better than your receipts. You got to remember,
Yeah.
D.L.hughley's contract said that he's the headliner, and that's what actually happened. So if you have a contract and your contract didn't get delivered on, then you have a claim. We could go work this out, you know what I'm saying, in court or wherever, or you could take it up with whoever wronged you. But obviously his contract worked out better than yours. And he brought receipts to prove his claim. So bringing up all of that radio stuff and trying to use
That ain't
that
never been dropped. The world ain't never see it. He wasn't there. He didn't ask you the question.
And he was nice enough to say,
reaching.
you know what, we don't even got to show that if you're that offended since we're friends. And then she want to bring
reaching.
up, oh, you had your feet under my table, nigga. I mean, come on, you invited him, and he came. You invited him over. He ate with you. Now you're gonna bring that up and call him a coon, and everybody else who you had trouble with is because they're a coon.
Yeah,
because they got beef with you, because they got a problem with you. They coons now. They not down for the struggle.
Yeah,
you got to be able to see through that, man. But I don't got too much on that. I'll let you have the last word on Monique, Bob.
Yeah, man. I just feel like she reaching. She definitely reaching, trying to find something that could merit for her to be outlandish like that. That's just. It would have to be something. I can't even think of nothing where you would say to be able to have to talk to somebody, and you speaking about the culture, you speaking about for the people, and you talk. It just don't even mix. It don't even seem like
it don't mix.
It go together.
It's just like when she got us. She tried to get us to boycott Netflix because she didn't like the deal that they were offering her. You get that? How you trying to bring in the whole black
for the people,
diaspora, right? And then we boycott Netflix, and then what do we get in return? Like for that, like what doors are you kicking down at Netflix for us?
Right.
To where we need to be involved in this. We're not talking about voting. We're not talking about canceling student debt. We're not talking about legalizing marijuana. We ain't talking about expanding access to mental health services or nothing like that.
Right.
We talking about you getting a better deal at Netflix.
Yeah, it's sad.
Oh, and one other thing I want to show you. Remember I told you it's some caping going on, right?
Yeah.
I want to give you an example. Now, this is just one example, bro. This is just in the sphere of my experience. Look at this.
They going hard for Monique.
Monique has minors. This is from Bird's blog. If anybody wants to check her out on Facebook, she follows gossip news. I have a different opinion on her or something, but look, Monique has minors. Has anyone ever thought about the trauma they've caused them by dragging their parents before the world?
Monique has kids?
Yeah, apparently so. That's an angle we want to address. Should we be worried about
their parents, though? How you drag their parents under the mud? Nobody knew about this. Nobody knew about this conversation.
Yeah, nobody ever. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't see this as Monique getting dragged. She brought this to us.
Right. We didn't even know about this. They didn't drop it. So
even the headliner thing, she could have kept that to herself. She felt like she needed to stand up for herself. Cool. But it's like nobody's dragging her. I don't feel like that. When I'm reading this news, I don't feel like I'm being unfair to Monique at all. I think that people need to realize this is not how you handle disputes with people that you consider to be your friends. They're supposed to be your comrade in comedy. Y'all can have a conversation and try to handle it that. You don't disparage his character and talk about his family and bring up something sensitive that happened in his life, with his daughter. You don't do that and then think that people is going to talk to you, want to have a conversation. That ain't how that goes.
She should have just all of that slander. She just shouldn't.
Yeah, she should have left that. But I don't really want to drag it because we did talk about Monique last time. Let's talk about the Republicans blaming everything but guns when it comes to the recent shootings. Now, Bob, I don't think we was on two different planets, but we had some differences of opinion when we were talking about gun control.
Mm-hmm.
Now some more details have come out about the shooting. I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of your solutions was we need more guns.
We need more at schools. I felt like we need more of a protection.
You
If
know,
these celebrities, but like you said, the money's not there. I just felt like the
I
type
don't
of
know. I don't know
yeah,
if the money's there or not.
right,
If I said that, I don't know. I didn't independently confirm that. I'm just saying it's so hard to get teachers fair pay. They're
right.
spending their own money for school supplies now. We have money to make sure that they're all trained. They're paying for this themselves. Like how does that all work? Would that be put more of a burden on the teachers? Is probably the position I would have on that. But continue.
I mean, from the schools that I've seen when I had to go to schools and to see the security guards and the
Well,
police officers or the security guards, I don't see the level of uh secure for the kids as far as if it was an artist or in the level of security. And I'm not trying to, it's hard to compare to that, but I'm thinking it's a lot more kids. At least we can have enough security for it that an artist would have, you know what I mean,
well,
for the school.
yeah, I mean, I think that would be tough. I think that we need a lot of different solutions. I think that there are like solutions that make sense that we could have done. But when you say more guns, the reason why I asked you about that, I don't know if you're going to stay with that position now. Maybe you giving that some thought. But we know now that police waited 80 minutes to enter the school. The police waited 80 minutes to enter because they were scared, which we have to be sensitive to that. It's very easy for everybody to be keyboard warriors and say, oh, if I would have been there. But when somebody's ringing shots from an AR-15, laying people down, not everybody's going to be brave enough to run in there. So this is a situation where we know that police officers were there. You see how that kind of makes me skeptical about the whole theory about more guns being a
I am
viable
not gonna
solution.
say more guns. I say more security.
More security, all right, but I'm just saying
That
police
may
officers
include
waited
to a
80
little
minutes.
bit more blunt, right? Because they're terrified. But I think defense is the best offense. So if I think that if these schools had the right, they don't have no defense, man. They got a couple guys walking around the school campus with a little gun on them, but it's not in no way we need some of the army vets, these guys that's going to war, these guys that done went. You understand what I'm saying? We need
I
the type of
understand what you're
trained
saying. We can have
individual.
basically more trained guns on the scene.
I ain't gonna say trained guys, that these same guys that go over to these wars, these same guys that are trained to, because they don't have the fear that I think a police officer that don't is he's not really gonna enter this kind of battlefield a lot. So he's like, I think they're gonna be more traumatized than someone that's this is what they train for. Like they have to train for this. You know what I mean? For someone coming into the
Right.
school and acting like that.
Okay, well, not to go back too much, we heard that solution. What do you have to say about Ted Cruz saying that if we were to ban firearms, it would cause more murders? Do you think that sounds like something that makes sense?
If we would ban firearms, it would
There will
cause
be
more
more murder. Like
murder.
he said that if we had no firearms, there would actually be more murders.
Well, I don't think we can do that because are they gonna collect and pick up the gun? Like, are they gonna pick up
He's
all of them?
he's I think he's speaking in hypotheticals, but
Right.
to me it just doesn't even make sense. How would there be more murders if we had no firearms?
I mean, I don't think they can just take away everybody's firearm, even if they said, "Oh, they're illegal." I think
Right.
it's still guns out here that people are not even able to get that they can get, and they can't have them. So it's like,
But do you think that firearms make it easier for people to kill people? Do you think that there's more murders because there's more firearms? Do you think that there's any truth to that?
it's more murders because there's more firearms. Yeah, I think the guns got something to do with it, man. We got a lot of illegal guns that you can't even. They're not even legal. They
Well,
got these switches and all this stuff.
what I'm saying is there's a Republican named Ted Cruz
Yeah.
who feels the opposite. He's
So he feels
saying
like
that
if we take the guns away, it's gonna be more killings.
he said if
I
we
wouldn't
had no
necessarily.
firearms, you keep saying take the guns away, and then you're going to say that we can't take all the guns away. I get you on that. You're clear. I'm saying that this guy said if there were no firearms, if there were none, there would be more murders.
Let's look at the case of this. So when those kids got shot and those police officers had to go into the thing, what are they gonna go in there with no gun? It would be more murders because this guy would probably kill a lot more because we gotta have to be able to battle the.
I think you're
Go ahead.
missing the point. How would he have a gun if there were no guns?
You mean the police officer or the kid or the
I
kid who
said
was
no
shooting?
guns, period. No guns.
So you couldn't even get a gun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was saying, what if we had swords instead of guns? Do you think there'd be more murders or less murders?
Definitely be less because you can't.
That's all I'm trying to say. Ted Cruz feels opposite. He's saying guns is keeping murder rates down. Remember, I'm saying Republicans are blaming everything but guns for the recent shootings. These are the solutions that they're coming with. Democrats are coming with common sense gun solutions like universal background checks, closing the loophole, the gun show loophole, and stuff like that. And Republicans are saying crazy things. Another thing that they're saying is that mental health issues is the real problem. Greg Abbott said that it's a mental health issue.
I mean, in the black community, I can say it seems like a mental health issue, you know. But what is it? I don't know. I mean, but that kid that killed them kids, is that a mental health issue? Could be, I mean, I'm not qualified to say yay or
Uh,
nay. Yeah.
you're getting fooled by these talking points. I'm bringing these up like they're like ridiculous, and I think that you're buying into them. I think like these are sounding like they make sense to you.
I'm just being, I'm giving it fair, I'm saying that
I
this is
well,
their
they must
claim. I can't say if it's,
to
you know,
me.
I don't have the facts, so I can't, I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it and saying, could this work? I don't know. I have to get more info for me to say.
Well, that's what we're dealing with. I don't want to necessarily change your mind, but I'm saying to me it sounds ridiculous, but this actually is working on people. So we got the mental health issues now. They don't want to they don't want to agree with any regulating guns. Raising
Got you.
the age limit to buy guns to 25, that's crazy. Universal background checks, that's crazy. Closing the loophole at gun shows, that's crazy. But we
I
need to
think the
deal with more
universal
mental
gun
health.
laws, like what you said with the Democrats, makes more. Yes, it makes more sense.
It's not
Like,
just Democrats. I said,
yeah, I
I should
mean,
say people on the left, but it's even Republicans who agree with common sense gun solutions too. But they're blaming other things. When you watch Fox News, they're not getting on there saying that, oh, we need to regulate guns. They're saying we need to deal with mental health issues.
got you.
They also brought up we need to. There was something brought up about video games, violent video games, and marijuana being a cause of mass shootings. They even said the trauma from making kids wear masks in schools is causing it.
Yeah, that kind of sounds a little bit, like it doesn't have nothing to do with, these shootings. But the mental health, I could kind of, I think somebody has to be mentally ill to want to really kill some unarmed people that didn't do nothing to them. I think something's wrong with you.
Okay, there are going to be. We don't want to be reductive
Yeah.
and say that there's one cause for mass shooting. So I understand that you have to deal with other things other than the guns, but to bring up mental health is a scapegoat because the thing about it is a very small percentage of people who have mental illness are violent. It's not like everybody who has mental illness is violent.
It's just gonna be violent, right?
And this guy Greg Abbott, who I said blames it on the mental health issues, he's a Republican too. They defunded mental health programs. These are people who were against Obamacare and Affordable Care Act, which is the same thing, but people seem to think that it's different sometimes. They were opposed to these things that expand access to mental health services. So if they really felt like these were mental health issues, then how come every time when it's time to give mental health services and things like that to poor people, they don't want to do it? It's just they'll say anything, they'll bring up anything to not regulate guns. And I'm gonna tell you why. This is the real reason all of this is going on and why they come up with these talking points. The NRA is hired by the Republican Party to, well, I'd say the gun manufacturers basically hire the NRA to raise a demand for guns. So anything that happens, they'll relate it back to you need to buy more guns. If there's a mass shooting, it's not safe out here. You need to buy more guns. If there's not any shootings, they'll say the reason why there's not any shootings is because people are buying guns. You should buy another one. You get it? The solution to everything is always going to be more guns. Just like you saying, like, yeah, we need more. They love when people talk like that. When they hear people say, like, yeah, we need more, we need to have security at schools like rappers got. They love to hear that. What they don't want to hear you say is, you know what? All of these people these kids, we got a list of kids that's committing mass shootings. A lot of them were around the age of 18. If we raised the age to 25, that might have stopped them. If we had a waiting period on buying guns, that might have stopped this incident.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
And honestly, if you look at other countries, bro, it kind of make you understand how loose our gun laws is, man. I was seeing a list of regulations that they go through in Japan. Hold on, I'm gonna read some of them.
What?
In Japan, if you want a gun, right? This is the process for buying a gun. Number 1, you got to join a hunting or shooting club. Number 2, take a firearm class and pass a written exam, which is held up to 3 times a year. Number 3, get a doctor's note saying you are mentally fit and do not have a history of drug abuse. Number 4, apply for a permit to take firing training, which may take up to a month. Number 5, describe in a police interview why you need a gun. Number 6, pass a review of your criminal history, gun possession record, employment, involvement with organized crime groups, personal debt, and relationships with friends, family, and neighbors. 7, apply for a gunpowder permit. 8, take a 1-day training class and pass a firing test. 9, obtain a certificate from a gun dealer describing the gun you want. 10, buy a gun safe and an ammunition locker that meets safety regulations. 11, allow the police to inspect your gun storage. 12, pass an additional background review. 13, buy a gun. That's all the stuff you got to do to get a gun here. All we got to do is go to Walmart. Or does Walmart still sell guns?
No,
go to a pawn shop.
Right.
Go to a pawn shop and you get it. So
yeah, that seems like I would love to hear their statistics on mass shootings. Probably is very low.
Oh, Japan?
Yeah.
This is one thing that we can guarantee. It's lower than ours.
Yeah.
And just to give you an idea about how frustrating this is to talk about, I might even seem a little frustrated talking about this because I'm very frustrated when I see people get fooled by weak talking points, but I understand that this stuff is, it sounds like it makes sense to a lot of people, but it's past logic at this point. It's a lot of tribalism going on. And even if you try to bring up facts to people, they'll still want to hold their position. There's a good example of this happening with a video I saw with Good Liars. I'm going to show you it. It's a dude who gets fact checked, but he stays with the lie, bro. Like he doesn't want to give it up. And it's very interesting to see something like that happen in real time, because it just shows that it's going to take more than facts to convince these people of these things. So are you sharing it, Bob?
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it. This guy here, he's gonna try to convince this reporter, and the guys at Good Liars do these type of videos. You should watch their videos if you want to see some really good interview techniques. They get people to show their hypocrisy and their fuzzy logic in a very clever way how they do it. But this guy is convinced of a fact that's not true, and they're going to disprove it in a very clever way. Here we go.
Is committed, and more people are killed with hammers every year than guns. Look at the facts.
I will look that up. I don't think that's true, actually.
That is true.
In the United States, though?
Yes, sir. That is true. Look it up. It's on. You can Google it. It's true. It's actually true.
So the number of murder victims and the weapons used. Okay, number one, handguns, 8,029. Number two, firearms, type not stated, 4,863. Number three,
This guy has to be nuts to say hammers.
weapons, fists, feet. Then rifles at 455. Then blunt objects, clubs, hammers, 393. So the 300, the hammers, that stat is just wrong.
Back to your question. Second Amendment is still my right, and it's still important to me. More people and more.
Now you see how I finished. He said, "Yeah, back to your question. The Second Amendment is important to me." He didn't care that he just said something that was completely false. And he just got proven wrong. He started with that goofy shit. More people are killed by hammers than guns. And he proved it wrong, and he was like, yeah, but that doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that does matter, because you just,
You said that's why,
right.
You basically are against gun regulation is what he's really saying. The reason why you're against it is because it's not about the guns. People are going to kill people no matter what. People kill more people with hammers. That's why you holding this position. But when he showed you the reason why you're holding the position is false, you went back to another reason.
Your Second Amendment.
Yeah. So, that's just an example of how silly people look when they hold positions and they try to make it seem like it's based on facts, but you show them facts to refute their so-called facts, and they still don't change their mind.
Because it's a more, probably a sponsor for the NFL. You know what I mean?
NRA, you mean?
NRA, I'm bad.
Yeah.
Thinking about NFA not fucking around.
That'd be a hot company name.
Right.
Yeah, but this is my whole thing. This is bad, man. This is showing how misguided the right is, the Republican Party is on this issue. Did you catch that the NRA, days after the shooting, they had a concert, a convention celebrating guns?
After this?
After the mass shooting in Uvalde.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, Trump spoke at an event. And I don't know if I brought this up before, but that event, that there was no guns allowed. It's an NRA convention where they're celebrating guns after the Uvalde shooting, and they didn't allow guns there. So, you know,
That's weird.
I don't think it's weird. I think it's logical. They even know that they're safer with less guns in the situation. They weren't
Right.
thinking, oh, we're going to have a whole bunch of good guys with guns. So if anything pops off, it's a whole bunch of good guys with guns. And think about this. Say you are a good guy with a gun, Bob, and you're in the parking lot, how that Buffalo shooting happened. And somebody starts shooting, and then somebody else starts shooting. Who do you shoot at that point?
Well,
You're
you
the
said two people just shoot. You don't know what's going on. You just seeing two people busting at each other.
exactly. How do you save the day? How do you know which one to shoot?
I mean, you got to see. You know, you don't, but you got to see if they're just busting at people, and you gotta. That's where. But if you see a gunfight, you
Look,
know,
one could be the mass shooter, and one could be the good guy. But you're the third guy with a gun, and you're trying to help the good guy with a gun out from the bad guy. How do you determine quick now? Because people are dying. How do you determine which one to shoot?
it's hard. It's not. It's hard to determine, man. It would be hard.
So would you agree that that's one situation where more guns added to the situation might even make things worse?
Yeah, unless we have a trained plan on, what to do. But if you just have people with guns and it's just like there's no you know what we used to do in school, those fire drills.
Man,
We used to
there ain't no drill for. I
when
mean, now we
somebody
have
start
mass shooter drills that we actually do have those, but how you think people is really gonna follow the drill protocol when it's shots getting fired?
Yeah, did you see what happened at that boxing match with Javante Davis and Rolly Romero,
Yeah.
where the people started scattering? I think they heard gunshots or something, and it was
No,
just
I
like,
didn't know that happened.
yeah, the fight.
Man, somebody on my timeline said that her her child's graduation got interrupted because there was an active shooter
Yeah.
at Dillard High School.
Wow. Yeah,
So man,
it's been
I might,
crazy.
yeah, I didn't independently confirm that for myself. I'm going off of what I read on the timeline, but mass shootings and active shooters being on the scene, this has been like a regular thing. The other day we were going to do a show, we didn't get to do it. There have been 17 mass shootings since the Uvalde thing happened. So now I think easily we could say there's been over 20 mass shootings since the Uvalde thing happened. And like I was trying to continue saying, that NRA convention where they were, had a big gun celebration after just days after this mass shooting that we had. And, those are the people who are trying to get people to buy more guns and trying to block gun regulation. They use Isaac Hayes' song, Hold On, I'm Coming. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac Hayes' family said that they didn't appreciate that. They didn't approve him using that song, and they didn't want that song to be a part of anything they had going on there. I'm paraphrasing, but the family spoke out. And you could kind of relate that to, it's just a bad song to pick because there were people who were calling for help at the school. And remember, we just said that the police officers took over 80 minutes to get into the school. So hold on, I'm coming. Calling for help.
That was a sneak diss.
I don't think it was a sneak diss, but I just think it was a bad choice of a song to play
Yeah.
in lieu of recent events. I just think that Donald Trump is tone deaf. I think the Republicans are not serious about trying to protect our families. I think they're going to do what is the best for their pockets, sell more guns. And if regulating guns is going to save our family but hurt the pockets of gun manufacturers, they'll rather line the pockets of the gun manufacturers because those are the guys that's spending heavy money to get Republicans elected.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. Those gun sales, man. I mean, it's all about the sales. Some people are just about that.
And on top of that, Trump was doing a little dance at the convention.
What he was doing? The sniper gang dance.
I don't know, cause he said a little speech about the kids, and then he did a dance. I'm gonna show it to you. They got they got footage of it. Hold on.
Trump,
Cause
80 years old, man.
man, people need to see how much of a clown this dude is. We agree we're not gonna call people names, but I'm gonna make an exception for Trump. He might get called a few names. Look at your boy. Look at your boy with the little two step. What's that? He
And
did a little
money coming
shmurdy
in.
dance.
Ching ching, yeah.
He did the shmoney dance on him.
Mm.
Yeah, man. So that's your boy. Everybody's in a somber mood. Everybody's thinking about
No.
you know making better decisions from the standpoint of gun regulation. He over there blaming everything but the guns, doing a dance, playing Isaac Hayes' song at a convention. I just don't think it's a good look. I don't think it's a good look, my friend. That's why we got to vote in the midterms, bro.
Mm.
And people will argue me down about how Republicans are better for us. You watch my Facebook page, you see they be always trying to engage me about the Republicans, but how are they not seeing the hypocrisy of these people? I'm not saying Democrats are perfect. They got some, we can make some valid criticisms about the Democratic Party, but there's no comparison to the Republican Party. We Republicans are way worse. Way worse.
To you, they're the Democrat is the lesser of the evil, basically.
I don't want to make it seem like it's a toss up, like way lesser.
Right.
Way less. It's not even close.
Gotcha.
It's not even close from where I'm standing at. How you feel about that?
I can see how the Republicans are about their business. So
Give them that.
yeah, and I can see that they're about making that making them dollars or sales, and I can see what the Democrats, you know, it's not really about it's more on trying to help the poor people. You know what I mean?
Mm.
They go at these angles, so that's where I see with both of them. So
Yeah, I see the Republicans as anti-intellectual and they're anti-environment. So it's important that I speak out against them. I'm doing my small part. Even with things like this, I'm going to vote and I'm going to speak out against them, and hopefully in the future I could show up
now I
at
want to
those
ask
school
you a
board meetings.
question.
Yeah.
With this inflation and prices and all of this is going on, which side would you say is more responsible for all of this?
What, inflation?
Yeah, I mean, with all the prices going up, could somebody have sold America out for some check? I mean, because you got to understand that prices is going up on food, gas. They just put a letter out to all the truck drivers saying that they need to see your log books to all of the CDL driving truck books, or you will be suspended if they don't get them in 10 days. Florida actually sent that out to all the truck drivers. Um, do you see that there is an attack on the poor people's pockets?
I'll say this, Mom. everything can seem like a conspiracy if you don't understand how anything works. It could seem like, oh, they gave us a stimulus, so now they got to raise gas prices to get the money from the stimulus back. I just think that there's a lot of things going on, and you got to break things down and figure out what's going on there. There's research on that. I'm not an economist. I don't have the time right now to go to school to become an economist. So we have to find experts that we trust. We have to read sources that we trust, and we have to be better consumers of information. And when it comes to the issue of inflation, there's a lot of different factors, man. Gas prices is up because of the pandemic. They're up because of conflicts in Russia and stuff like that. There's a lot of factors that add to inflation, but how well do we even understand inflation? Just a regular average American. Do you realize that some inflation is good?
All
That drives
inflation
the
could be good. Yeah, I mean,
no, not
all
all of it.
inflation could be good.
I mean, there's a balance that needs to be followed, but a lot of people don't understand that. You actually want some inflation.
But think about it like this. This is why, like a point you just said, some inflation is good. We have more millionaires than ever before. Okay, the millionaire things is going up. There's people with a lot more money, but there's a class of people where it's not jumping as high. There's not a lot more people. So do you equate this to who talent? Do you it's like what do we like you said, we don't know enough about it, but just
I
the
mean, you're
yeah.
you're asking a lot of questions at once, but we have wealth inequality here, and we know that it's because of a lot of different things. It's not one thing,
Right.
you know.
But I mean, specifically, I'm just going on specifically with these prices and with everything. Do you feel like this could be, somebody attack on the lower class people? Because
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
the people who are gonna get affected
yes, in a
the
sense, it
most.
is an attack. I mean, the Republican is always attacking lower income people. If they're saying that they want to lower taxes for corporations but raise taxes on people who are not even making a lot of money, then that's an attack. When you see
Right.
people on the other side, they want to reject the Affordable Care Act. They don't want to give uh, marginalized people better access to health care. That's an attack on poor people, if you ask me. When
Right.
the Democrats tried to pass legislation that would deal with the baby formula shortage, they tried to pass legislation that would have helped gas prices. Democrats tried to pass legislation to, we'll stay there. Republicans voted against it. So in a sense, yes, that's an attack on poor people, and Republicans are leading the charge.
Okay.
I'll say
That's
that.
just that was my question is the and you answered it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what's going on. I feel attacked. We got to deal with this hella potent melatonin. There was a article written by NPR that's talking about kids overdosing on melatonin. How many times have you heard parents joking about giving melatonin to the kids and watching them knock out? Have you seen videos like that on your timeline?
I haven't seen any videos like that, but that's
Well,
crazy.
have you ever given your kids melatonin?
No,
Never.
never. Now, is that a pill? Is that a pill is that a prescription?
No, it's actually an over-counter drug. Let's go to the article. I'm going to go ahead and share it, and we can read along. Um, there's actually a part of the article that I think is very telling, because we a lot of times we'll take supplements in this country And we don't realize that those supplements are not regulated the same way as other pills. Are you watching the article with me, Bob?
Yeah.
All right. Thousands of kids are getting sick from down in melatonin pills. Article reads, researchers are drawing attention to a rise in poisonings in children involving the sleep aid melatonin, including a big jump during the pandemic. Last year, U.S. Poison Control Centers received more than 52,000 calls about children consuming worrisome amounts of the dietary supplement, a six-fold increase from about a decade earlier. Most such calls are about young children who accidentally got into bottles of melatonin, some of which come in the form of gummies for kids. Parents may think of melatonin as the equivalent of a vitamin and leave it on a nightstand, said Dr. Karima Lilac, an emergency physician at Children's Hospital of Michigan and the lead author of the study published Thursday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But really, it's a medication that has the potential to cause harm and should be put way in the medicine cabinet. Oh, ladies, name is a mouthful. Now, I've taken melatonin, and I got to say that stuff is really strong.
It put you to sleep.
What? Was it? So when I heard about people giving that to their kids, I always was worried about it. But this to me is the most important part of the article. I want us to really pay attention to this. In the U.S., in the U.S., melatonin is sold as a supplement, not regulated as a drug. It's sold as a supplement, not regulated as a drug. Because melatonin is unregulated, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration doesn't have oversight over the purity of ingredients or the accuracy of the dosage claim. So you could think that you're giving your kid a certain dosage of this thing, and it might be 4 times that.
Right. Dang.
And you don't have to, when you know how everybody was so scared of the vaccine because they said it wasn't FDA approved, right?
Yeah.
These melatonin pills go under way less scrutiny than that vaccine.
Wow.
So why aren't people scared of this like the vaccine? Maybe because there's not so much propaganda making you scared of melatonin pills the way they make you scared of a vaccine. But that's what we have here with these supplements. They're not scrutinized. They don't have to pass a peer review. They don't have to pass a double-blind study. They don't have to get tested and then have the findings published in a science journal or anything like that. It's kind of like the wild west with these supplements.
Yeah, supplements are bad.
It doesn't mean that all supplements are bad, but
98% of them.
Now look at you, 98%. Where'd you get that percentage from, Bob?
I mean,
we got to be careful when we just throwing out percentages, man.
I just feel like, just like you saying, it's unregulated.
It's unregulated, but we can't say 98% of supplements is bad. You feel what I'm trying to say? We can't say that.
Yeah.
We don't got.
I don't want to put a number on it, but
yeah.
I would say because of the stats that you just said, we can't have no facts about it. So
they're not regulated the way that a prescription drug is.
So there is some natural supplements that are just that you can get, but
you can naturally supplement your diet with food.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But when you buy a pill and they're telling you, just like diet pills,
right?
Remember on Saved by the Bell when one of the girls was taking diet pills and she was hooked on it? It was like, oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
she was crying. That was the first time I realized, like, damn, certain things that we're buying over the counter could be used as drugs, because it'll be a minute before they figure out that it's hurting people.
Yeah.
Just something to think about. Just something to think about. I shared this on my timeline, and it didn't really slap like that. It didn't seem like people wanted to have that conversation. Wasn't very interested, but
Right.
trust me, I've heard a lot of parents talk about giving that to their kid.
Wow.
Just something to think twice about. Might want to give them some hot tea or something like that. Have them doing some
Yeah.
exercise. Melatonin might not be the best way to get your kid to go to sleep.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we touched on some good subjects. I think we went into the wealth, health, and better understanding of self era of the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Definitely, man. We had
I
a good
think
one today.
I think the Monique story, we learned more about ourselves there, you know, how we could handle situations better. When it comes to wealth, that's what politics is all about. And health, we learned some things about dietary
Supplements.
supplements, more precisely melatonin. So we covered our bases, did we not?
Right. We did cover our bases. Now I want y'all to know that, you know, we do got the sea moss, you know, that's a more of a natural, you know, supplement. So if anybody wanna, you know, definitely tap in with us, you know, you can tap in with us at, you know, Sea Moss Goddess on Instagram, where we provide you something right from the ocean rather than you popping a pill. I mean, no knock to the pill poppers, but
Yeah,
you want-
yeah, because a big part of our audience is pill poppers. Slow that down. We need
Yeah.
them. We need them. I'm joking. I don't have any idea who's listening to this thing. You know?
For real.
But yeah, we gotta work on getting the banner together, boss, so that way they could get something across the screen to know where to reach out to you for the CMOS.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get everything ready for them, because right now we in the time where, you know, the most important things is, you know, you need to have access to you right now, because you know, with prices and gas, and it's just crazy out here, you know. So you want to go ahead and close them out, Cap?
Yeah, we can close out. Till the next time, folks.
For real. I'll let y'all on the next one.
Yeah.